Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
President Trump delivers a boastful State of the Union address 9 months ahead of Election Day. The unusual speech mixed reality TV-style theatrics with overt partisan appeals. Also unusual, Trump and the House Speaker exchanged snubs. He declined to shake her outstretched hand. She omitted his ceremonial introduction and ripped up her copy of his speech.
Because it was a manifesto of mistruth.
A dramatic end to a deeply partisan address to the nation. The president making his case on the eve of an impeachment vote, with his approval ratings on the rise.
But unlike so many who came before me, I keep my promises. We did our job.
What can we expect as the Senate prepares to vote on the impeachment charges against the president? Plus, we are tracking snow this afternoon as all eyes are on the skies, and for live radar for you, Brandon is tracking some flakes, believe it or not, that are expected to move through. But first, a dramatic break-in out of Shelby Township. My police believe the ex-girlfriend of a college student actually broke into a house with attempts to set it on fire. That story topping our news at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ebrod Cassimy. This all happened inside of a home on 24 Mile Road, right near Shelby Road. That family woke up to commotion inside of that house and were able to stop the girl. But as Local 4's Nick Monticelli reports, she also fired one round, possibly aimed at the father. Nick?
Good afternoon. Yes, this is a bizarre one happening at this home behind me at the corner of 24 Mile Road and Bruce Hill here in Shelby Township. Take a look at the video. Police officers called here again about 1 o'clock after a 911 call. The daughter who lives in this home woke up because she heard something strange. The dogs were barking, something else was going on. Then she realized the power was out. She woke up her father, who decided to go downstairs after A, he heard something, and B, said he was going to check the breakers. Got downstairs and instead was confronted by his son's ex-girlfriend who had broken into the home. With her, she allegedly brought a rifle, a can of lighter fluid, and a few other items. She was found allegedly dousing the carpet and other items with that lighter fluid, and when the father tried confronting her, there was a struggle. According to the Shelby Township Police Department, she aimed that rifle at the father. It misfired twice. She did get a round off, but it did not hit him. Then he was able to get that gun away from her, kind of forced her upstairs, and the police officers were there by then.
She had the lighter fluid. She brought it there. She was saturating the downstairs carpeting and some other items. So you could obviously think of what her intent was.
Back out here in Shelby, you can see officers still coming and going from this home. Ironically, the ex-boyfriend, who again lives here, was not home at the time. The suspect is a 21-year-old woman out of Pontiac. She is now facing charges of attempted murder, attempted arson, and more. In Shelby Township, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
Thank you, Nick. And that 21-year-old woman, the suspect there, will be arraigned, and that's scheduled to happen likely sometime tomorrow afternoon. There is an investigation underway now after a fire destroys the Bell Tire store in Troy. This happened just last night on Maple, right near Crooks Road. Firefighters say that the fire started in a storage area for tires, and within minutes, the flames caused the roof of the building to collapse. We're told the building is a total loss, as you can tell here from the video on your screen, but thankfully no one was hurt. The store was closed at the time of the fire. Breaking news just into the Local 4 newsroom. A sick passenger transported from Detroit Metro Airport to a local hospital for coronavirus testing did not meet the standards for the coronavirus and is not under investigation any longer. We've been following that story ever since that passenger was taken to the hospital to be tested, but again, does not meet the standards there. Also breaking at this hour, 52 people were hurt after a plane skids on an Istanbul runway, breaking into pieces. The Pegasus Airlines plane was carrying 177 people and 6 crew members, and the plane caught fire after landing, and ambulances and rescue teams were there to rescue passengers. Officials say that no one died in this crash and that the injured passengers have all been taken to local hospitals. Here at home, taking a look at our forecast right now as we see a beautiful view from one of our sky cams across Metro Detroit there. Well, it looks nice out there, Brandon. We could use a little more sun like we've seen in days past, though.
We had a little earlier. Now we're starting to see the clouds fill in, and just about all anybody's talking about here the last couple of days, the snow on the way. So we're going to look at when it starts, how long it lasts, how much could we be shoveling, and the impacts mainly on commutes. But just know that it's not happening or coming our way during the day today. We have upper 20s out there, 29 Grosse Ile, 29 Monroe, 29 in Howell, 27 Mount Clemens, with wind chills that are still in those upper teens if you're heading out and about. Temperatures not warming much. Obviously the sun would help, but we're seeing less of that. Cool, cloudy, lower 30s at best. Really looks like after 8 or 9 p.m. tonight, that snow begins to move in, and we'll be looking at, there's the radar picture of it moving through Illinois and starting late tonight through the overnight. Already by the time we hit the Thursday morning commute, looks like 1 to 3 inches already on the ground. Evrod?
Brandon, thank you. Right now, we want to get you updated on the impeachment trial. This is a live look from inside of the Senate chamber, and you can see their senators are going to be holding a final vote on whether to acquit or convict and remove President Trump from office. That final vote is scheduled to happen at 4 p.m. But after months of investigation and debate, the impeachment trial will come to an end today. The Senate voting again this afternoon on 2 articles of impeachment, and barring the unexpected, the president will be acquitted on both counts. This all comes a day after the president's State of the Union address, which was just last night, but there were some pretty contentious moments during it. House Democrats responded to them this morning.
All we need to know about continuing to work with Donald Trump was set in the very first moments of the State of the Union, when once again the Speaker extended her hand and he refused to shake it. We will continue to work on things that are positive for Americans at home. We're going to continue to work on those issues that are important to them. If we can do that with the president and our colleagues across the aisle, we will continue to do that. But
Chris Pallone breaks it all down from Capitol Hill.
One nation under God.
In the Senate, the last few floor speeches as the constitutional crisis that gripped the nation for months winds to an inevitable conclusion, the acquittal of President Trump.
Party loyalty over country has infected this chamber.
As this day began in Washington, the buzz was not about impeachment, but of President Trump's third State of the Union address.
It was undignified, it was highly partisan, and in too many places just untruthful.
A made-for-TV event that perfectly reflected the acrimony of a divided Congress and nation. It started with an unmet handshake and ended with a disdainful rip. In between, shout-outs and giveaways that only a former reality TV show host could conjure.
You will soon be heading to the school of your choice.
Awarding a scholarship to a student seated in the gallery, reuniting a military family with their deployed husband and father, and honoring talk radio host Rush Limbaugh with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. After her very public display of displeasure, Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the address a manifesto of mistruths.
It was the courteous thing to do, considering the alternative.
The president spent the morning retweeting supporters slamming the rip seen around the world. Against that backdrop, the Senate gathers for its final judgment on President Trump. The only real drama waiting to see which senators buck their party and risk angering voters or the president.
Given the current makeup of Congress, it would be very unlikely in an election year to pass any bipartisan, meaningful legislation. But now with the impeachment trial and a very contentious State of the Union address, those prospects are even smaller. In Washington, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
And speaking of the State of the Union, all eyes were on Michigan because Governor Gretchen Whitmer gave the Democratic response to it. We spoke with her this morning, and the governor weighed in on the president's message about health care.
When the president says that he is fighting to protect people's health care, it is incredibly dishonest to pretend that. His actions should speak a lot louder than his words, and my hope is that people believe that truth does matter in this country and that we should pay attention to what people do, because it's a lot more telling than what people say.
And make sure you stick with us here at Local 4 and on clickondetroit.com. We're going to bring you the very latest from Washington as those impeachment vote results trickle in. Again, that'll be around 4 o'clock. So we still don't know who won the Democratic Iowa caucuses because of a technical glitch there. There was an app that was supposed to transmit results, but it didn't perform properly. So the votes have to be counted by hand now. And this is where the race stands, though, with results from about 71% of the state's 99 counties. Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders are in the lead. They're followed by Elizabeth Warren, who is a senator, and then Joe Biden trailing them. So to come here on Local 4 News at noon, a surge of new Chinese coronavirus cases as a second group of evacuated Americans arrive in the U.S. from Wuhan. We'll tell you what's being done to stop the spread. But first, the trial of disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein continues. We have a look at what we can expect to come out of the courtroom today.